Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Danny Spies of Clean and Delicious. I am a health, eating psychology, and weight loss coach, and I am here to help you make healthy eating easy, delicious, and doable. So good. Now, today I'm going to show you how to make my stovetop sauteed cinnamon apples, and this recipe is great because it's so good and it takes like 15 minutes to make. These apples are a fantastic way to work seasonal flavors into your everyday healthy staples. You could add this to your bowl of oatmeal in the morning. You could spoon it on top of cottage cheese or some Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of granola, or you could put it right over your favorite stack of pancakes. There's so many different ways to use them, and it's a really great way to enjoy the season while staying aligned with your health, wellness, fitness, and or weight loss goals. Now, to get started, you're gonna need 4 cups or 500 grams of chopped up apples. So that's going to be anywhere between 3 to 4 apples depending on their size. Now I like a smaller chop. I do about a 1/2 inch cube, but they could be a little bigger, a little smaller. It doesn't really matter. What does matter is that they are fairly uniform in size. This way they cook at the same pace. Now I do recommend looking for a nice tart, bright apple and an apple that's going to hold its shape when it cooks. So something like a Honey Crisp, a Granny Smith, a Fuji, a Pink Lady. These would all be great options. And you could also do a combination of any of those. I myself am using Honey Crisp and Granny Smiths. I also love to leave the skin on the apples. Can you peel the apples? You absolutely can. But I think they add a really great flavor and a really great texture. Plus, all of the vitamins and the nutrients and the fiber is in the apple skin. So in a perfect world, I do recommend that you leave the skin on. Once I have all of my apples prepped and ready to go, I'm just going to transfer them into a large nonstick skillet with a few tablespoons of water, about 3 to 4 tablespoons, and then I'm going to turn the heat to medium high and pop on a lid. Ultimately, these apples are going to come to like a very gentle simmer in the pan, and I'm just going to let them go for about 5 minutes. Then I'll remove the lid and let them cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. And the goal here is just to let some of that excess water evaporate out of the pan, and we want the apples to be nice and tender. So the water's going to evaporate, but the apple should be fork tender, just like this. Then I'm going to toss in some butter. So I've got 1.5 tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to let that melt in the pan and create a nice light coating on all of the apples. If you don't do dairy or you don't do butter, you could sub in some coconut oil here. That flavor works really well here, and it's a perfect swap. Once that is melted and the apples are lightly coated, then we're going to toss in 1.5 tablespoons of real maple syrup, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then a fat pinch of sea salt. Again, I'm going to gently toss the apples so they have a nice light coating of the butter and all of these spices. And then from here, I just let them cook for another couple of minutes. The name of the game is that you want the apples to be coated in all of that flavor. You want them to be fork tender, but you want them to hold their shape. So this is what they're going to look like when they're ready to go. Then I'm just going to turn the heat off and let them cool for just a bit. Now, I like to make these apples when I'm doing my weekend meal prep, and then I use them as a Head Start ingredient throughout the week. So once they're cool, I transfer them into an airtight container and pop a lid on. They will happily last in your fridge for up to 5 days, and then you can use them to infuse seasonal flavors in simple dishes all day long. Not only can you go sweet, but you can also go savory. So you could serve it with some chicken or some pork, or you can be more traditional. You can spoon it over some Greek yogurt or some cottage cheese with a little sprinkle of granola. You could spoon it over a stack of pancakes, or you could put it on top of your favorite oatmeal. It's so simple and it's so delicious. And let me just tell you, if you want to learn how to make my absolute favorite protein-rich egg white oats, it's the most delicious, fluffiest bowl of oatmeal you will ever eat, then you're going to want to check this video out next, okay? So I'm going to see you over there.